See, especially in programming language, whenever you learn the new topics, okay, whatever the basics you have learned, you should not forget. Okay, so then only you can learn the new topics very easily. Okay, so till now we have discussed the introduction to C++, data types, input-output operators, control statements. See, all those knowledge you should have. Okay, so to discuss arrays chapter, next chapter is functions. So two chapters are left with the C++ part. So if we want to understand these chapters correctly, so all these concepts should be ready. Okay. So, let me continue with this chapter. So, meanwhile, if I come across any topics related to the previous chapters, so we will discuss that. Okay. So, the meaning of array is it is a collection, or we can say it is a group of things. For group of things, we can call it as an array, or we can say for collection of things, we can call it as an array or list of things. Okay. So, either it can call collection or a group or a list. Okay. But the definition says array is a collection of elements with same name and same type. So this is the definition. Array is a collection of elements with same name and same type. So two things people have to remember, that is name and type. Okay. So the meaning of array is, we can say collection, or you can say grouping the things, or list out the things. Okay, that is nothing but array. So if you want to tell the definition, you say array is a collection of elements with same name and same type. Okay, so this is the definition. So example, so if you take the real world example, so if we are collecting the textbooks, if we are collecting the textbooks and keeping in one place or in one box, so if you collect, for example, 5 textbooks, so which are related to the subject computer science, you put in one box, on the box you put the label as computer science. So for that box we can call it as an array, because we have collected the items, that is textbooks, and if you look at the textbook names, that means all the textbook names, so all the textbooks belong to one particular subject, that is computer science. And on the box, that means when we put the label, so we have put the label as computer science. So when I say all the textbooks belongs to computer science only, then we can say it is the same type. Okay, so we can say it is same type. Okay, and if you say we have put the label as computer science, so we can say it is the same name. Okay, so when you collect the textbook, you see that like if it belongs to same type of textbook, then we can say it is the array. Okay, if suppose out of 5 textbooks, if I have collected 3 mathematics textbooks and 3 computer science textbooks, and if you put in one box, for that list you cannot call it as an array. Okay, understood? For that list, for that collection group, you cannot call it as an array, because if you look at the textbooks, that is subjects of those textbooks, so 3 belongs to mathematics, 2 belongs to computer science. But I need the elements of same type. So if you are collecting textbooks, you say same subject textbooks. Or if you are collecting like mobiles, so same company, which should belongs to same company, that is called a same type. Or if you are collecting like say vehicles, so it should belongs to same company, like okay. So if you are collecting the items of the same type, then for that collection or for the group or the list, you can call it as an array. So here I will write the definition. Okay, so array is a collection of elements. Okay, collection of elements with same name and same type. So this is the definition. Same name and same type. Both should match. Okay. If the type is same and if the name is different, so that we cannot call it as an array. If the name is same and if the type are different, for that we cannot call it as an array. Okay. It should, so collection of elements with same name and same type. So this is the array definition. Okay. So once again I will tell you, array is a collection of elements with same name and same type. Okay. Now the next question is, why do we need arrays? Okay. So need for arrays. See, can anyone tell why we have to collect the things like in order or in random, whatever it is? But why we have to collect the things? Why we have to group the things? What is the advantage of that? Can anyone tell? Can anyone chat and tell? Say not only textbooks or not only books, anything if you collect, if you group the things, so what will be the advantage? Okay, it feels easy and somebody is telling we can find easily. What to find? Or why it makes easy? For what operation it makes easy? Correct? It feels easy, it makes easy. For what operation? See, there are many advantages, but according to your syllabus, or if I want to tell according to the answer, what about the answer? If you get a question, why do we need arrays? 2 points right is enough. So, main 2 reasons. Okay, that is one is searching, another one is sorting. See, there may be many advantages or there may be many requirements, but you just write 2 things. That is, see, it makes easy to find. Somebody said, find an element. Okay. If you are collecting the elements, it makes easy to find the particular element in that given list. Okay. Or to find an element, or we can say to find the position of an element. 2 things here. To find the position of an element or to find the element. So it makes easy to find the element. That is nothing but searching. Searching becomes easy. Whenever you collect the things and keep it in one place or in one box, searching becomes easy. Okay. And the next one is sorting. What is the meaning of sorting? The meaning of sorting is like arrange the elements in particular order. Okay, so when you group the things, we can arrange the elements in particular order. So particular order means it can be ascending order or it can be descending order. So we can arrange the elements in ascending or descending order. If you are collecting all the names, for example, if I collect all the students' names, then you need not say ascending or descending, you can say alphabetical order. Okay, and in alphabetical order, we have to say like from A to Z or Z to A. So there also we can say ascending or descending order. So when we collect the things, the need for arrays is searching and sorting. So these 2 correct is enough. To find an element in the list, or we can say to find the position of an element in the list. Here, if you look at the next point, sorting. Sorting means arrange the elements in particular order. So in particular order means it can be in ascending or descending order. Okay. So this is the need for arrays. Okay, if you get a question, why do we need arrays? For 2 things, searching and sorting. You can write the answer as searching and sorting. Okay, searching means to find an element in the list. Sorting means arrange the elements in particular order, either ascending or descending order. If you come across the names, you can say in alphabetical order. Okay. Okay. So definition is collection of elements with same name and same type, and we came to know the requirement of the arrays. Okay. Next thing is types of arrays. Types of arrays. Okay. So here we have 3 types. That is one-dimensional array, 2-dimensional array, and multi-dimensional array. Remember, one-dimensional array, 2-dimensional array, multi-dimensional array. Okay. See, before I go to the definitions of these, so something we have to understand with respect to variable and value. Okay. So we have already discussed in Introduction to C++ chapter, and again in data types, input operators. So those things you have to remember. Then only you can understand further topics. So if you forget the basic things, that is the foundation, how much high if you build the house also, it may fall at any time. So remember this, not only for computer science subject, for any subject, if you learn advanced things, but if you forgot the basic things, then it might fall at any time. So how to remember all the concepts? So when we consider the variable concept, okay. So the definition of variable is a quantity which may change its value during the execution of a program. So this is one definition is there. Or we can say variable is an identifier which stores the value. So one more definition is a variable is a name given to the computer memory location. So this is very, very important. Variable is the name given to the computer memory location where the values are stored. Okay, where the values are stored. Okay. So when we consider that definition, if I consider variable as a, and again here one more concept we will come across, that is identifier concept. Okay. See, this identifier concept will come in every chapter. So how to remember the definition of identifier and the rules to write an identifier. Definition of an identifier and the rules to write an identifier. Okay. So if I tell a is the variable and a value is 10, nothing but in computer memory, okay, we consider this as the computer memory, okay. So this 10 will be stored at any one location. You consider this as the computer memory location, and for this memory location, you have to write it as a. That is nothing but variable. See, this we can consider it as variable as well as identifier, because identifier is the general term. So variable is an identifier where the value is stored. Variable is a name given to the computer memory location where the value is stored. Okay. See what happens when we store the value in the computer memory. See, whenever you store the values in the computer memory, especially with respect to programming language, see, you can consider these as the values part. Okay, this is the computer memory. This part is called as values part. In addition to this, we have one more part called as address part. Okay, we have one more part called as address part. Remember, whenever we store a value in computer memory location by program, that is C++ program or C program, we have to make use of the concept called as variable. Remember. See, simply if you have opened MS Excel or MS Word and to type from the keyboard the values, we may not remember the variables. So internally it happens, but we don't need to remember those concepts because whatever the things we require, it will do for us. Okay. But when we write a C++ program and then we store the value by using C++ program, these concepts you have to remember. That is variable A here, the value is 10, and address part will be there for this. Okay. So when a value is stored in a computer memory location, two parts will be value part and the address part. Okay. Now, with respect to this address part, we will discuss in pointers chapter. Remember, with respect to this address part, we will discuss in pointers chapter. But apart from the address part, one more part will come here. One more part. Okay. That is with respect to the arrays concept. Okay. So once again, I will tell you all these things. Don't get confusion. Whenever we use a variable in a program and when we store a value, two things will be associated. The two things are values part and address part. Okay, two things are values part and address part. And this address, regarding the address part, we will discuss in pointers chapter. Let us not worry about that. And in addition to these two parts, we have one more part called as position. Okay, or index. Position or index, or it is also called as subscript. Position or index or subscript. Okay, so totally, so how many parts we have come across here? Address part, value part, and index part. Three things are value part, address part, and index part. So about address part we will not discuss here. Okay, only about the value part and index part we will discuss in the arrays chapter. Okay. Okay. See, if you want to understand this index part, I will give one best example. See, when you look at the index of the textbook, so how it will be like chapter names on one side and serial numbers on one side, page numbers on another side. Okay. So by looking at the serial number, you can come to know what is the chapter number. Okay. So this chapter is nothing but fourth chapter or fifth chapter or sixth chapter, you will say. So that part is nothing but index part. Okay. So you just remember the index page of the textbook. So you come to know. That means for every chapter, index number will be there. That is the chapter number. From that we can understand. And page numbers are also there. Okay. So if index number is not there, then we will not come to know what is the chapter number. Okay. If I ask which chapter you are reading, you can tell chapter name, that is okay. But if you tell fifth chapter, I will understand. Okay, this particular chapter you are reading. So index is nothing but we will come to know that particular item belongs to which position. Okay, that particular item belongs to which position. So position in the sense, whenever we consider the position, we can consider like serial number. Okay, we consider serial number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if I write the chapter name like C++, okay, data types and input output operators, control statements, okay, and arrays. If you write like this chapter names, so if I tell control statements, yes, it is fourth chapter. If I tell arrays, yes, it is the fifth chapter. So this part is nothing but whatever the serial number is present in the index page of the textbook, that part I can consider it as these three things. Either you can say position, or you can say index, or you can say subscript. I hope you got it. Okay. So if you have any doubt, you ask now only. Anybody have doubt up to here? If it's clear, you can continue. Okay. So whenever we collect the things like this, you consider this as the collection of items. The chapter names, you consider it as collection of items, and whatever the serial number present is nothing but index or subscript, we can say. Still we have not discussed about multiple dimensions. Still I have not gone to one-dimensional wait. Okay. So these are all background knowledge of arrays. Okay. So when you collect the items like this, so if I write the serial numbers for that serial numbers are nothing but index or subscript or you can say position. Okay. In attendance register also, students' names will be there, roll number will be there. Apart from roll number, you have to consider serial number also. If you consider the serial numbers, that is nothing but the index. See, wherever you go, wherever you see the list of items, so serial numbers will be there, just to identify the particular element. In case of students list, either by serial number or by roll number you can identify. So these serial numbers are used to identify that particular item. So this is nothing but subscript. Okay. So this much you try to understand. Now we go in detail. Sometimes what happens, like, okay, so first chapter is C++, and in introduction to C++, if at all, if there is a concept called as, say, tokens, okay, if there is a concept called as tokens, so I can say 1.1 here. I think you might have observed. So main chapter name is Introduction to C++. In that subtopic 1.1 tokens, 1.2 variables, 1.3 constants, like that. Okay. So this is also you can consider index 1.1 tokens and 1.2 variables, like this it is there. And with respect to this page number, fine. So if you consider 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those are also index values. 1.1, 1.2, again it starts from 2. Second chapter is data types. And again in data types you can say 2.1, you can say syntax of variable. Like you can consider. Okay, this is also index. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those are also index values. 1.1, 1.2, 2.1, those are also index values. Okay. Now, so when we talk in terms of arrays, okay, when we talk in terms of arrays, that is position or index or subscript values, so we have to remember three things here, or we can say three rules here. With respect to arrays, if we want to discuss about subscript or index, we have to remember three things. So this is in general I have given the example. With respect to arrays, we have to remember three things. The three things or the rules are, first one is here in arrays, subscript, okay, or if you consider index value will start from 0. Okay. Will start from 0. You don't ask question why, sir, it is like, because in computer memory location they have designed like that. index values will start from 0. If you consider real world example, that is textbook example, chapter names are there and index values are there, that serial numbers. Here you will not start with 0. Okay. If I say which chapter you are reading, you cannot say 0th chapter. First chapter. So we are starting from 1 here. So in real world, we are starting from 1. If you consider with respect to arrays, we are starting from 0. Remember this point. Subscript or index value will start from 0. Okay. Next. Second one is, so if you observe here the chapters and serial numbers, as I said, in some cases, we may come across like 1.1 some topic, 1.2 some topic, again 2, 2.1, 2.2. So we may come across like this. So if you look at these numbers, 1.1, 1.2, 2.1, 2.3. So these are all floating point numbers, correct? Floating point, that is fractional forms. So these are all fractional forms. Integer number is there, decimal point is there, again one more number is there. Okay, 1.1, 1.1. These type of numbers will not come in arrays. You remember. Second one is, these type of numbers will not come in arrays. So what I can say is, here index value will not be floating point value. Floating point value, that is like 1.1, 1.2, like that. Index value will not be there in case of arrays. Okay, it should be whole number, like integers. Start from 0, it should not be floating point value. And one more thing, one similarity is there. That similarity is, if you look at the serial numbers, can we consider negative numbers here? No. You have to start from 1 only. So if I ask which chapter you are reading, you cannot say minus 3rd chapter or minus 2 chapter or minus 1 chapter. So that is meaningless. Okay, we have to start from first chapter, second chapter, third chapter. We cannot say minus 3rd chapter, minus 2nd chapter. That is, index value should not be negative number. In both the cases, consider real world example as well as in case of arrays also, should not be negative value. So these 3 rules you have to remember with respect to index values. So index means, by looking at the index, we will come to know that particular item belongs to which number. Okay. Like as I give the example in case of textbook, chapter name. So to which chapter you are reading, or to which number, to which serial number this chapter belongs. The same way in case of arrays, we have the index values, and the rules in arrays are, it will start from, whereas in case of real world, it starts from 1. Here in case of arrays, it should start from 0. Remember, always how to remember this. In arrays, index value will start from 0. So this point you have to remember. In arrays, index value starts from 0. Okay. Second value is, in case of real world, you can say 1.1, 1.2, 2.1, 2.2. But in arrays, it is not available. So you have to write whole number, that is integer number. So index value will not be a floating point value. And third one is similar. Because in case of real world also, you cannot say -1, -2 serial numbers. So here also, it cannot say negative value. So it should not be a negative value. Okay, I hope you could have understood till here. So if you have any doubt, you can ask till here. The definition of an array, see, still types of arrays we have not discussed yet. We will discuss them. So definition of an array, example, okay, and need for arrays, searching and sorting, and one more thing is with respect to index. So how the index will be in real world, how the index values will be in arrays. So those things, these things we have discussed. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Types of arrays we will discuss. Wait. So whatever the things I have written on the board, that is rules of subscript index values. So I will provide the soft copy of notes. So don't worry. Okay, we will not copy now. So I will provide notes. Just to remember the things. Okay. So definition of an array, need for arrays, and these rules of subscript. So I will give the notes today. Okay. So we will continue with dimensions. One dimensional array, two dimensional. So before we go to the dimensions of this, so one more thing I want to tell about the real example. See, when you observe your result sheet, okay, when you observe your result sheet, so you might have noticed like this. That is, on one side, say on one side you might have noticed the roll numbers, okay, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, and on another side you might have noticed the like subject marks, say for example physics, chemistry, mathematics, and science, okay. Okay. So if this is the case, see, if at all, if you want the particular marks, say for example, I need the mathematics marks of second student, that is roll number 2. I need the mathematics marks of second student. Okay. If I need the mathematics marks of second, for example, if I got like 95, if I need the marks, that is mathematics marks of second student, see how you can identify, you tell. See, if you look at the result sheet, we come to know. That is different. I am telling you how to identify. Identification in the sense, you tell me the position of this. So position in this sense, you see how many rows are there. You leave the heading. You just look, start from here. How many rows are there, and how many columns are there. You look at the number of rows and number of columns. So if you leave the heading, if you consider first row, okay, second row, third row, fourth, fifth row, okay, 5 rows. And if you consider the columns, you consider like this: first column, second, third column, fourth column, fifth column. See, in case of rows, I have not considered the heading. You just notice that. So from row number 1, I have considered the first row, second row, third row, fourth row, fifth row. Okay. And in case of columns, I consider down first, second, third, fourth, fifth column. So if you want to tell the position in the sense where it is, this 95 marks, where it is. If I ask the question like that, how will you answer? You can say in second row, fourth column. Is it fine? So any confusion here? Correct, right? If I say, tell me the position where this marks is present, where 95 is present. So we will tell like second row, okay, then fourth column, second row, fourth column, 95 marks is present. Still I am working with respect to real world. I am not talking about arrays, real world. So this is the table where you have the marks on one side roll number, on another side marks. If I want to indicate the position of this, where it is, you can say in second row, okay, and in fourth column. So if you indicate like this, if you identify like this, then you have to consider it as like if you are telling about row, okay, you consider it as first dimension, okay, first dimension. And if you are considering column, you say second dimension. Understood? First dimension is row, second dimension is column. See, very good example is like you consider the graph. I think everybody know about graph, x-axis and y-axis. You can say x-axis as rows, y-axis as columns. Similarly, this second, what are the things I am writing second row, you consider it as row, and fourth column, you consider it as column. So if you are mentioning both row and column to indicate the position, again I am telling you, if you are mentioning the both row and column for indicating the position of an element, that is considered as two-dimensional array. I hope people got it. See, still I have not set the definition of one dimension. Directly I am going to two dimension because it will be very, very easy. Because if you look at the table format, it will be easy. Okay. If you are considering both row and column to indicate a particular element, then it is two dimension. Now, about one dimension, you people only can say. If you are indicating only row or only column, not both, then it is one dimension. Again, I am telling, if you are indicating, if you are telling only row or only column, not both, then it is one dimension. Okay. So in detail, we will discuss in the next class. Okay. That is definition of one dimensional array, syntax, example, and with program.